By now, you've probably heard that there is a global computer chip shortage that has affected the new car supply at dealers across the nation. Unfortunately, many dealers are in short supply of new cars, which is presenting a huge problem for anyone looking to buy a car and enjoy the sweet new car scent all the way home. That being said, if you're in the market for a new car right now, it might actually be a good idea to wait it out until next year for the following 5 reasons. We will also be discussing more about car prices later on, so stay tuned for that. 1. Inventory is low right now. As I said before, the inventory on new cars across the board is lower than usual. According to MarketWatch, many Toyota dealers are down to just an 18-day supply of new cars, with the 4Runner being the most popular model in the lineup. There is reportedly only a 9-day supply of those. General Motors isn't looking too good either. MarketWatch reports that many of those dealers have fewer than a 25-day supply of SUVs in which to sell, and that's factoring in the average price of nearly $100,000 for one of them. As we can see, the chip shortage has had a major effect on every automaker, even the ones with some of the largest inventories. 2. Incentives are also in short supply, or non-existent. Do you know those discounts that people always ask for when buying a new car? Those are available because the manufacturer offers pricing incentives so that dealers can sell more cars. However, since the chip shortage is holding up the supply chain and dealers don't have as many cars to sell, there aren't any incentives to take advantage of either. CNBC recently reported that the average new car discount is $2,957, which is down from $4,825 in May of 2020. So if you're thinking about buying a new car now, then you probably won't get the usual deal that you'd normally get. 3. Dealers are charging more than the MSRP. Considering the MSRP for a car is known as the manufacturer's suggested retail price, emphasis on the suggested, dealers are now charging well over it. Torque News reported that many dealers nationwide are charging upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 over the sticker price of most cars. That means you could be paying $60,000 for a Toyota RAV4. You don't want to do that, so maybe just wait it out. 4. It's harder to get credit approval for a loan. Since dealers are raising the prices of new cars, the banks are valuing those cars at 110% or 120% over their actual retail value. What consumers might not realize is that an increase in value means that it's harder to get a new auto loan with less than stellar credit. So if you have less than a 700 credit score or are in a challenging credit situation, it's likely harder than usual to be approved for that loan. And if you do get approved for a loan, there is the possibility that you will have a high interest rate for a car with an inflated value. That sounds like a bad deal all around. 5. Prospective car buyers are buying cars that haven't even arrived yet. With the decrease in the new car supply, the demand for them has gone up. And as such, many buyers are putting in orders for cars that haven't even arrived at dealers' lots. This will inevitably make it tougher for anyone else to buy cars without putting an order in for a car they haven't even seen. Again, it's a tough situation to be in. The year 2021 has been quite a roller coaster when it comes to car buying. In the past 8 months, we've seen the prices for new cars increase due to the computer chip and inventory shortage, which ultimately led to used car prices increasing at a rapid rate. But can we expect car prices to increase in 2022? The first reason that the car prices are so sky high this year is the shortage of computer chips that resulted from the pandemic. Since cars use computer chips in many of their electronic systems, the short supply of them halted the production of new cars. In turn, the lack of new cars drove up prices on the ones sitting at dealers' lots, which in turn increased used car prices. The Detroit Free Press reported that the chip shortage could last another 6 months in the term. However, things could get better in the next 12 to 18 months. Although that's technically speculation, since it's hard to tell what will happen given the rise of COVID-19 Delta variant around the US. If anything, new and used car pricing may stay the same going into the new year, as some are doubtful that they will plummet. While some outlets have reported that used car prices have fallen recently, that might be temporary. According to CNBC, automakers have struggled to keep up with production with the ongoing shortage of semiconductor chips. The news outlet reported that Ford cut its production in July and August, and Nissan said that it expects to make 500,000 fewer vehicles this year. Unless automakers can find a fix for their inventory shortages, we might not see prices fall anytime soon. However, used car retailers continue to benefit from the elevated prices. CarMax saw an increase of 138.4% year over year, and Carvana's profits grew by 198%. With that much of an increase in profits, we wouldn't blame those retailers for keeping prices where they are, although the market in general has a lot to do with it. While buying a new car right now might seem futile, given the inflated pricing and inventory shortages, don't give up hope. You can still find deals. It just takes patience and perseverance. Also, if the car that you're looking for is not on any dealer lots, then you can always have it ordered straight from the factory. Just know that it can take some time for the car to get built and shipped though. But as bad as things are for new car prices, things are even worse for used vehicles. The lack of new cars available has created an absolute frenzy in the cheaper used car market. Since March of 2020, used car prices are up a staggering 39.8%, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index. During that same period, the BLS inflation measurement for new car prices is up 8.9%, while overall U.S. inflation is up 6.3%. There's just not a lot of cars out there. And if you go in and walk some lots, you'll notice that it's not there. The consumer doesn't really have their first pick right now, and so they're going down to their second pick, third pick, or they don't want to wait for production to release new vehicles, so they're going into the used car market. Prices have persisted in moving up over the last few weeks. The average purchase price of cars are inching up to $100 and $200 a week. But what does this mean for consumers? Should they pony up and pay these prices or hold out for future deals? At the onset of the pandemic, auto manufacturing across the globe came to a screeching halt. That's not an exaggeration. In April 2020, the US saw auto production drop 99% from February 2020 levels, according to the US Bureau of Economic Analysis data. By the summer of 2020, the automotive industry did begin to rebound, but that was short-lived. Component shortages and delays caused by a disrupted global supply chain caused monthly U.S. auto production to fall again. In total, U.S. car production fell 23% in 2020, and it's currently on pace to fall another 8% this year. The decrease in vehicle production is worse for the market than it might appear at first. The car market is continuously losing vehicles to a combination of life cycles and accidents. That phenomenon, referred to the industry as car scrappage, combined with decreased auto production, saw the total number of vehicles in the US decline between the second quarter of 2020 and the first of 2021. But shrinking supply isn't the only factor driving prices higher. There has been a big uptick on the demand side, too. Some of that can be attributed to interest rates on auto loans hitting rock bottom levels during the pandemic. In addition, it's possible that people moving out of big cities and not wanting to take public transportation or ride sharing as a result of COVID-19 health concerns has driven them to buy vehicles. What will it take for prices to normalize? The simple answer is for supply chain issues to get worked out and production to return to normal levels so that supply and demand can balance out. But easing those upstream shortages and supply chain issues won't be easy. The well-documented supply chain kinks that are causing the so-called everything shortage don't have one culprit, save for the pandemic broadly. It's a shortage of individual components, which is caused by a shortage of semiconductors, shortages of labor, allocation of steel and resin. There's lots of disruption. Not to mention, transportation and shipping issues and delays at ports, he suggests, are the biggest weak spot at this point. On that front, some actions have been taken as of late, including President Joe Biden's deal to open the Port of Los Angeles 24/7 in an effort to alleviate backlogs. But that can only do so much. For auto production to ramp up domestically, chip and semiconductor production in Asia needs time to catch up with demand. The bad news? That chip shortage in particular could stretch into 2023. The two main factors that affect the prices of a car are supply and demand. The base price for a manufacturer's suggested retail price, or MSRP, of a particular car does not fluctuate much. But to meet or drive changes in demand, manufacturers often offer incentives such as cashback or bonus cash. Dealers have the same opportunities to offer incentives based on their stock, which often happens towards the end of the month. For example, one dealership might project high sales of a popular model. A smaller dealership in a different city doesn't, requesting fewer vehicles from the manufacturer. This second dealer might not offer incentives because they believe their smaller inventory will sell, while the first offers them to quickly move more vehicles. It will likely take well into 2022 or beyond for the overall car market to start to return to normal. While this roller coaster of a car market seems unpredictable, it could be beneficial to wait.